Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The country star revealed on The Voice that he likes to indulge in the seafood dish after ordering it for the first time on prom night. Blake Shelton is known to snack on a bag of Cheetos while he's on tour, and loves a simple homemade cheese dip. But the country legend also has a rather surprising rider request: calamari. So when The Voice coach Alan was delivered a massive bowl of fried squid at 8 o'clock in the morning, he happily chowed down. Carson Daly surprised Blake Shelton with morning calamari on Today. In May 2025, Shelton appeared on Today to talk about his marriage to Gwen Stefani and his 13th studio album, for recreational use only, in addition to performing his new song Texas. But before any of that happened, Carson Daly, who was away from the Today studio hosting The Voice, surprised his friend with a big bowl of morning calamari. Daly couldn't be here today because he's busy hosting The Voice on the West Coast. But I hear he sent me a special message, Shelton said to the camera, cueing Today to just play it. "Hey buddy, sorry I'm not here, I wanted to be there for you on this huge day. But we've got another little TV show out in California called The Voice. Heard of it? Think it bought you a helicopter," Daly joked in a pre-taped video, making Shelton burst out laughing. "But before you head outside, Blake, there's something I'd like to share about you that people don't know," Daly continued. "Much in the same way that Van Halen famously wanted to have M&Ms backstage, you two have a bit of a demand, and I want you to feel right at home today." "Oh, my God. What is this?" Shelton said as a bowl was placed in front of him. "Is that calamari? Oh wow. I hope you're hungry buddy," Daly's message continued. "Because we all know, at least I do, that you cannot do anything without your fried calamari. This is like donut calamari," Shelton told the Today co-hosts. Shelton later posed with his coveted bowl of calamari just before he took the stage to perform his song Texas as part of Today's 2025 City Concert Series. Carson Daly told us Blake Shelton always requests an order of calamari on his rider, so it was only right that we got him one this morning for his city concert. Today captioned a TikTok video showing the country star holding his bowl of 8 a.m. calamari. Blake Shelton demanded calamari on The Voice set. During his tenure on The Voice, Shelton made sure there was calamari on set. "People don't realize that during your run on this show you demanded, rock stars have rider lists and it's usually champagne and blue M&Ms, yours is calamari," Daly, who worked with Shelton on The Voice for 23 seasons, told a God's Country singer in a behind-the-scenes video. "And we've all had to suffer. It's not like it's in your trailer, it's the food we must all consume." Shelton then explained that he's always thought of calamari as a luxury after he first ordered the dish for the first time at Olive Garden on his senior prom night. "I drove with my date to Oklahoma City to an Olive Garden and it was the first I ever heard or seen calamari. I remember people at the table saying, 'That's fancy, holy cow,'" Shelton recalled to Daly. "So in my mind, still now 100 years later, it's like, how can I really indulge?" Shelton joked. "I'm gonna demand calamari, they're never gonna be able to find that." Blake Shelton thought he was headed to a normal early morning taping of The Voice spin-off promo shoot. Instead, the country crooner found himself squinting under harsh studio lights, clutching a coffee cup in one hand, and a plate of crispy fried calamari in the other. It all began with a text the night before from Carson Daly, host and master of pranks behind the scenes at The Voice. "Hey bud, early call time tomorrow. Don't be late. Big surprise." Blake, never one to shy away from Carson's antics, responded with a thumbs up and a gif of a rooster crowing. He had no idea that his morning would begin with a seafood platter and a table full of smirking coaches. The calamari conspiracy. Blake strolled onto the set just before 8 a.m., dressed in his signature flannel shirt and jeans, hair slightly tousled and his signature grin forming as he caught sight of Reba McEntire, Gwen Stefani, and John Legend already in their chairs. "Morning, folks," he yawned, stretching his arms. "Hope you all saved some coffee for old Blake." Reba glanced at Gwen and smirked. "Oh, we've got something better than coffee, Blake." Before he could reply, a production assistant wheeled out a silver tray covered with a domed lid and set it right in front of Blake. "What in the Nashville heck is this?" he asked, staring at the tray as if it might explode. Carson walked in dramatically, rubbing his hands together with excitement. "Hope you're hungry, buddy," he announced. "Because breakfast is served." With a flourish, he whipped off the lid to reveal a pile of golden brown calamari rings, still steaming. Blake blinked. Is that calamari?" John Legend couldn't help but laugh. "It's not just calamari. It's calamari caught fresh off the Santa Monica coast, seasoned with lemon, garlic, and regret. Why calamari? The bizarre breakfast was, in fact, Blake's own doing, sort of. A few weeks earlier, during an off-camera interview with a food blogger, Blake had jokingly said, "Only thing I wouldn't eat for breakfast is calamari. Seafood before 10 a.m.? That's a hard no for me, brother." The video went viral, especially among his Voice co-stars who were always looking for a way to poke fun at Blake. Carson had seen it and immediately hatched a plan. "We had a whole meeting about it," Carson admitted gleefully. "We even debated serving it with grits just to mess with him more." Reba had apparently voted for shrimp and grits, but Gwen had insisted the prank stay pure calamari chaos. So, that morning, calamari it was. And to make matters worse, or better, depending on your perspective, they made Blake eat it on camera. "This is against nature." Blake sniffed the squid skeptically. "Y'all, this is against nature. I ain't even had toast yet." Reba laughed and handed him a fork. "Come on now, Blake. You said you wouldn't eat it. Let's make history." Blake dipped a piece in marinara sauce and held it up like it was radioactive. "I swear, if I get sick, I'm blaming all of you. Especially you, Carson." He took a bite, chewed slowly. Then shrugged. Okay. I'll admit, it's not terrible," he muttered. "Still not a breakfast food, though. Ain't nobody in Oklahoma waking up saying, 'I could go for some deep-fried squid right now.'" Gwen leaned in with a mischievous grin. "But now you can say you've done it. You're a trendsetter." Blake deadpanned, "If eating calamari at sunrise is trendy, I'll stick with biscuits." Fans react. When a clip of the moment aired later that week during The Voice, backstage banter, fans couldn't get enough. On social media, #CalamariChallenge trended for nearly 2 days. Fans started posting their own attempts at eating calamari for breakfast in solidarity with Blake. One fan tweeted, "If Blake Shelton can eat calamari at 8 a.m., I can survive this work week." #inspiration. Another joked, "Waiting for Blake's new country single, Fried Squid and Broken Promises." Even restaurants got in on the fun. A diner in Nashville updated their chalkboard sign to read, "Breakfast Special, Blake's Calamari Platter, comes with sarcasm." Blake's revenge? Of course, Blake isn't one to take a prank lying down. A week later, Carson Daly arrived on set to find his trailer filled to the ceiling with balloons. Every single balloon had a tiny, laminated photo of calamari stapled inside. Taped to the door was a note in Blake's handwriting, "Hope you're hungry, buddy. B.S." Carson, naturally, posted the balloon invasion on Instagram with the caption, "Touché, Shelton. Touché. A bond over breakfast." Despite the prank, Blake admitted in a later interview that the calamari incident was one of his favorite memories from his final season on The Voice. "It's just dumb stuff like that makes this show what it is," he said with a chuckle. "We're not just judges or whatever, they're my friends. Friends who force you to eat squid for breakfast, apparently." He paused, then added with a smirk, "I'm still never ordering it at 8 a.m. on purpose, though." Gwen, standing beside him, leaned into the mic. "But you do it for me again, right, babe?" Blake sighed dramatically. "Fine. But only if there's coffee. Lots and lots of coffee." The legacy of the squid. To this day, fans bring squid-themed gifts to The Voice tapings. One even handed Blake a stuffed calamari plushie during a red carpet event, which he graciously accepted, before promptly gifting it to Carson with a wink. Whether it becomes a recurring tradition or just a weird one-time breakfast prank, the morning of the great calamari incident will go down in Voice lore forever. Because if there's one thing Blake Shelton's learned in his years of coaching, it's that with friends like these, you better always expect the unexpected, especially before coffee. And maybe, just maybe, leave a little room for calamari.